Welcome to yoga. Today we have just a nice little overall practice, a little bit of everything, a little bit of chest openers and some upper body work, maybe a little bit more focused on that. So as always, just listen to your body, make modifications, take a different pose if there's something in there that's just absolutely not for you, and enjoy your practice. Let's make our way to a comfortable seat. Take inner thigh rotation. Begin to lift the pelvic floor, pull the lower belly in and up. Engage along the sides so we sit tall. Relax into your hips and shoulders as much as you can here. Drawing your awareness inward. Focusing on your breath. Breathing all through the nose, begin to expand into each breath. And eventually make your way to your nice, full, smooth, just beyond comfortable place. Remember to stay connected to the breath. And let's begin to add movement in here. Taking the arms out to the sides. With your next inhale, stretch them up toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, bring them back down again. Following your breath. We'll do that again. And then once more like that. On the inhale, bring the arms back up to the top. This time, exhale just your right hand back to the mat and give yourself a tip to the right, keeping the sit bones rooted. Extend long through the crown of your head as you inhale, and as you exhale, see if you can tip in there a little bit deeper. Inhale and lift yourself back up to the middle, and then we'll switch, taking the left hand down, a little tip over to that side. Inhale as you lengthen the spine. And exhale, sink in there a little deeper yet. Inhaling, come back up to the middle. And then one more time on each side like that. So take it right. Nice full breath. Back up to center, inhale. And then the last time over to the left. Coming back up to the top on an inhale. And exhaling, release both hands. Let's take the left hand over to the right knee and the right hand behind the body a bit. Give yourself a nice easy little twist over to the right here. Staying rooted and even in the pelvis and tall through the spine. Releasing that, come back through the center and do the same thing to your second side. Back to the center again and over to that first side. Use your right arm like a second spine and pull against the knee with your left hand. Feel like you're rotating your belly button toward the side, turning your side ribs toward the back of the mat and drawing the right shoulder back. Staying rooted and even in the pelvis, tall through your spine. Releasing, come back to the center and do the same thing to the second side. So rotating around as evenly through the spine as you can. Keep your breath flowing full and smooth. and then release to come back to the middle. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet here together and interlace your fingers with your toes. So just getting the fingers in there as deeply as you can. You can use the same hand and foot, or you can cross like I do there. Work the fingers all the way in and bring the soles of the feet together as much as they'll be. Letting the knees rest out to the sides. This is a nice little hip opener. And if it's enough, you stay upright. If you want more, bend your elbows and think about bringing your belly button toward your heels-ish. Keeping the spine long, chest lifted. Nice and easy, hinging back up again. Release your toes and stretch your legs out long. You can bounce your knees, you can wiper your feet, you can flex your toes, wiggle around a little bit. And then from there, make your way around onto hands and knees. So coming into a tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, hands even into the mat. Moving through some cat-cows to begin. Inhale, take the belly toward the floor, and exhale to round your spine toward the ceiling. Connected to your breath like that, in and out. Taking one more flow. And then finding a neutral spine when you're through. Make sure the belly's pulled in, keeping everything in alignment here. Let's go ahead and extend the right leg straight back. Heel in line with the hip. We want to rotate the toes toward the floor, and then stretch the left hand forward. Activate every muscle from the heel all the way through the fingertips, holding your balance, supporting your lower back. Release that to the mat and then switch sides. So left leg back, press through the heel, make the leg really active, and the right hand forward when you're ready. And if it's a little wobbly, don't worry. Releasing that side back to the mat. We're going to switch this next one up. So go ahead and extend your right leg back again. Heel in line with the hip. The leg is just as active as before. This time, see if you can lift your right hand up off the floor. You'll have to shift the body weight just enough. And if the fingertips come up and down a million times and you never stretch forward, don't worry about that. But if you can, stretch your right hand forward, reaching from the fingertips all the way through the back heel. Release it back down, all fours. And then give it a go on the second side. So left leg back, flex firm through the heel, leaning just enough to pick the left hand up off the floor, even if it's for just a little second here. Stretching through the fingertips if that's you. Connect to the breath. And then release that back down again. Gently here, sitting the hips back to the heels, give yourself a child's pose. Let's lift into a down dog. And allow yourself to move and stretch in that first down dog. It always just feels so good. And begin to allow yourself to settle in. So pressing into the four corners of the hands, see about pressing your chest back, sinking your heels toward the mat. Keeping the belly pulled in, we're going to begin to flow. So as you inhale, shift forward, come into plank. And then as you exhale, shift back into a down dog. Again, like that, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Remember, you can drop down to the knees and essentially move from a kneeling plank into a child's pose, or maybe just have the knees on the floor for your plank. Any little variations you need. Let's take one more flow like that, shifting forward and back. Dropping down to the knees and resting back into a child's pose here. Nice easy breath, smooth it out. Making your way back up into down dog again. This time here, we're going to lift the right leg straight back. So we want to keep the hips really square, make sure your belly's pulled in, supporting your back. We're going to do the same thing as before. So with the inhale, slide forward and come into a three-legged plank. Exhale, take yourself back to three-legged dog. So keeping the right toes up off the floor, let's do that again. You can drop the left knee maybe if you like. Do one more of those. Forward and back. Drop the right toes. Take the knees and sit back into child's pose again. And then of course here, we have a second side. So lift back to your down dog. We're going to lift the left leg. And then the same thing here. Make sure your belly's pulled in. On an inhale, shift forward into your plank. And exhale back to down dog. Again. And then one more time like that. Release your toes and drop on down into child's pose again. Maybe this time here, taking the hands back by your heels, allow your shoulders to rest just a little deeper. If you don't love that, the hands can always stay forward. Stretching the arms out again, ground the four corners of the hands, and slowly make your way back up into your down dog. This time here, simply walking the feet to the hands, finding yourself in a standing fold. Feet are up underneath the hip bones, make sure your toes point forward. And we're just gonna work a little bit into the hamstrings, walking in place here. Bending both knees if you need, take your index and middle fingers and wrap them around your big toes. Keeping the knees bent if you need, maybe take them straighter. Bending the elbows out to the sides either way to draw the shoulder blades together on your back a bit. You can pull on your toes and give yourself a bigger stretch if you still need that. Big breaths here. Releasing the toes. Here we're going to take the fingers to the lower back and interlace. Palms face each other. We want to draw our shoulder blades together on the back and then stretch the hands away. And they may stretch straight down your back. They may lift up toward the ceiling. They may start to move in front of you. Just continue to draw those shoulder blades closer together wherever the hands are. Let's release the hands. Sliding the hands up to the thighs, press away and come parallel to the floor, holding here. The hands can absolutely stay on the thighs for support or move to the hips. And with an inhale, hinge yourself all the way up to standing. So with your next inhale, take the arms, stretch up toward the ceiling. Exhale, take yourself over into a fold. Inhaling, come halfway up, keep the shoulders drawing together on the back, and then exhale and step your right foot back into a lunge. If you want that knee can come to the mat, we're just going to roll around into the hips to begin. So waking up the body. Coming to a center, think sweeping the legs toward each other, and we'll take the left leg straight. So the hips are nice and square. Again, that right knee can be on the floor if you need it. You can leave the hands on the floor, maybe prop up to your shin, use a block to prop up a little higher so the shoulders can pull together and keep the spine long here. We'll bend back into the knee then and step back into a down dog. On an inhale, shift forward into your plank, take knees if you'd like, and then all the way down to the belly. Hands next to the side ribs as we inhale and roll the shoulders up, together, and down toward the hip bones. Exhale to release that. Lift your belly and chest at the same time. Press up and back, down dog. And then we'll step the right foot up to the hands, come into a lunge. Same idea, just kind of wiggle around. Wake up the hips. Find your center, sweeping the legs toward each other up underneath, and then taking the right leg straight. Big full breaths here. Remember to modify if you need. Bending back into the knee so we can step forward into fold. Inhaling, come halfway up, and exhale back over. This next inhale brings us all the way up, reaching to the ceiling. And then exhale, release your arms back to your sides. So let's do it again. Inhale, lift, and exhale, fold. Halfway up on an inhale, and then exhale the left foot back into lunge. So find center, sweeping the legs toward each other up underneath the body. We'll bring the right hand to the hip, rotating the belly, side ribs, and shoulder around. Stay strong and steady through your legs. Back knee down variation if you want. Releasing your twist, step back, down dog. Inhaling, slide forward plank, and exhale down to the belly. Inhale, roll into your cobra. Add a little pull with the hands, lengthening your spine. And then release that up and back into your down dog. With the inhale, stepping the left foot forward, coming to your lunge. Sweeping the legs together up underneath the body. Bringing the left hand to the hip, we'll twist to the second side. Work to keep the lower body strong and stable. Nice full breaths. Release the twist and step forward into fold. Halfway up on the inhale, exhaling back into your fold, and then all the way up, stretch to the ceiling. Exhale and release the arms. One last time like that. Inhale, lift, and fold. Halfway up. Exhale, step the right foot back again, lunge. Sweep the legs toward each other up underneath the body. Knee down if you want it. We're going to climb up on the left thigh, lifting the upper body vertical, maybe reaching the arms. Full breaths here, keeping the back legs steady and strong. Exhale to release the arms and make your way back into a down dog. Inhaling, shift forward to your plank. Take knees if you like, down to the belly. Roll into the shoulders, little pull, maybe a little press this time. And then release it, up and back, down dog. And stepping the right foot forward, come into lunge, second side. Left knee on the mat if you'd like. Climb up on the thigh when you're ready. And if it's you, reach the arms up toward the ceiling. Sinking into the legs, keep them strong and steady. Extend out through the crown of your head. And with an exhale, release back to the lunge and step forward, fold. Inhaling, come halfway up. Exhale back over again. And then all the way up, reach to the ceiling. Exhale to release it. So we're going to inhale the arms back up again. It's not another sun salute. Take yourself over into your folds. And this time here, we'll make our way back into a down dog. Let's drop on down to the knees. Take just a couple of breaths here in child's pose, transitioning the practice. And then we'll come to sit up on the heels. We're going to be on the tops of the knees for a minute, so if you need some extra cushion under your knees, fold your mat over a couple of times. And then when you're ready, come up onto the tops of your knees. Your feet can be flat or the toes can be tucked under. That's just preference here. We want to tuck the tailbone to keep the lower back long, and you can always support with the hands on the lower back if that's what you need. Maybe interlace the fingers like we did earlier. We want to keep the tailbone tucking, draw the shoulder blades toward each other, and lift the chest up toward the ceiling. So creating this nice space in the spine to move back into this little back bend. You can continue to adjust, keeping the lower back long, lifting and finding that extra length to move a little deeper. And the hands can stay down where they are, but if you want a little bit more, maybe take the elbows out in cactus, adding a little bit of body weight. And if you really want to go deeper, extend the arms alongside the ears, adding a little bit more body weight. And wherever you are, you can wiggle and adjust. So if you need to come back out a little bit, come back out a little bit. If you can keep length, maybe you can move a little deeper. Full breaths wherever you are. Remember to adjust the arms if you need. We're going to come back up to a neutral spine and release the arms. Go ahead and sit back on your heels for a moment. Give the spine a second here. If you need to unfold your mat, unfold your mat. And we're going to make our way into one last down dog just to stretch the body in the opposite direction. From here, we're going to come down to the belly. However you want to get there, you can do plank if you want. And then super simple, just roll yourself over onto your back, and you'll have to kind of realign on your mat, of course. Take a second laying flat on your back. Your feet can be flat to the floor or the legs can be extended here, but just take a second to allow your spine to neutralize against the floor. And then we'll gently draw the knees into the chest and rock a little bit. Opening the arms out into a T position and keeping the knees in closer to the chest maybe than normal, allow your legs to simply fall over to the right. If you want to adjust and shift in this final twist, you're welcome to be shifted. Gently making your way back to center and then taking it to the second side. So if you did adjust on one side, adjust on the other. Let your legs relax to the side. Coming back to the middle. Just taking a nice easy little rock again here. And then drawing the knees in tight to the chest. Pull your forehead towards your knees, give yourself a squeeze here. Releasing that out into a full body stretch, get nice and long again. And then release that stretch. Letting your arms come back down by the sides. Make your way into wherever your body wants to be for Shavasana. So you can be completely flat here. You can take your feet flat to the floor with the knees bent. Or you can maybe bring the soles of the feet together, letting the knees open to the sides. And of course, if you prefer, you can take a seated meditation. So wherever your body is going to be completely comfortable, allow the body to still. Focusing solely on the breath again. Allow your mind to stay quiet. Giving yourself just a few minutes to rest. And of course, you can stay longer there if you like. Namaste.